We asked the Epic Gardening team, what is their go-to, must-have, first thing I grab every season gardening tool? These tools are the bedrock of our homesteading, our gardening operations. This might be the first tool you reach for when things have started to get completely out of hand. We had some controversial and disputed answers in this list. Let's check out what we got.
Hey there, I'm Gray, and I'm about to show you why I think the Ryobi 18-volt reciprocating saw is a gardening powerhouse when it comes to setting up your garden for the spring. And it all has to deal with trees and access to light. And now, of course, we all know that our gardens and our fruit trees need to have access to proper light. Usually a minimum of between 6 to 8 hours for most of our vegetation. And unfortunately, I'm blessed with a curse out here in Texas. I have a very expansive tree canopy. I mean, I've got everything from juniper to pecan to mesquite, oak. I mean, you name it, I have it out here. But I love my trees, and I'm not trying to get rid of them. But I can cut back and prune a little bit to get more access to usable sunlight. And that's going to be 100% when my Ryobi Sawzall is going to come into play. See, right over here in the east on the horizon is where my sun rises in the morning. That nice, soft, gentle sunlight is what my peach and my pear trees need. But unfortunately, the lower branches on this oak tree are actually blocking out that light. So I'm going to prune them back so that I can still access the light, but maintain the health of the tree. See, because what I don't want to do is actually completely top the tree, because doing that would actually completely kill your tree, just like what happened with this crepe myrtle back behind me. Before I bought my home, unfortunately, somebody thought this would be a great idea, and they topped the tree, and she has completely rotted and never came back. It's crepe myrtle murder. And now, wherever you're using reciprocating tools or rotary tools for that matter, make sure you have on proper PPE, and then make sure not to wear any loose-fitting clothes and long hair. You got to tie it back. When pruning a tree for thinning, it's important to make nice, clean, vertical cuts closest to the trunk of the tree for the overall health of the tree. And the 18-volt Ryobi Sawzall makes short work of this. See, the Ryobi Sawzall is perfect for branches that are in-betweeners here, that are about 1 inch to 3 inches. Because see, these are going to be too large for like your loppers. And I think it's a versatile tool for someone who maybe isn't as experienced with using a chainsaw. It can be easily used to trim back brush or even overgrow in some of your bushes as well. Oh yeah, and remember that crepe myrtle? It's time to go ahead and take her down too. But it doesn't just stop there, because now I can take these branches and I can trim them down, and I can use these as tomato stakes for maybe 1-2 seasons in my garden, or even some slow burning green sticks for your fire pit. Whenever you're changing out a blade, make sure you take the battery out of it first. Make sure you identify a wood cutting blade, because that's what we're cutting into when we're pruning. And since there's no tools necessary for changing out a blade, all you have to do is pull up on the lever right up at the neck of the Sawzall. Once you pull it up, pull your old blade out, put your new blade in, lower the lever, and then you're set to go. Just that simple. See there? Now my peach tree is going to have access to all the sunlight she needs soon as spring comes around.
Well, I know what you're thinking. What in the world am I doing talking about tools that you're going to use in your spring garden when there's snow on the ground? Well, this is what spring sometimes looks like in the Midwest, because it can be weird and we can have late snowstorms in spring, and sometimes you just get a big thaw and then you can get right back into your garden and get going. And the biggest job I have to do in my garden in spring is clean up, because I don't do any of my cleanup in fall. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but one of them is because it's so much easier to do it in spring. And that's where a good string trimmer comes in handy, because I do most of my cleanup with a string trimmer. So I use a string trimmer to clean up almost all of my perennials, with the exception of things like hostas that have kind of mushy stems. And not only is this a really easy way to clean up your garden, it also provides a huge benefit, which is mulch. You can do this same job with a mulching mower set on the highest setting, but if you've got kind of varying terrain, it can be kind of hard to do that. So string trimmer works great for this. So when you use a string trimmer to clean up your perennials, all you're looking to do is cut them into chunks, and smaller is generally better. So I aim for a few inches long, because I'm gonna cut those and then I'm gonna let them lay right in the garden where I've cut them back. So this means we're going to take several passes on the same plants. But the benefit of doing this is that there is nothing to haul out of your garden. You have created no garden waste. You don't have to bring wheelbarrows and cart anything out. It all just stays right in the garden. So there's a few factors to consider when you're deciding when to do this kind of cutback. A big part of it is when new growth is starting from perennials, because you obviously want to do this before you're going to be cutting into new growth. It's nice to leave this cutback as long as possible because there can be overwintering insects in these plants, and so the longer you can go before you disturb that habitat, the better. You can also do a staggered cutback where you cut back things that are looking particularly shabby or that you're afraid that new growth is going to start pushing, but leave things with hollow stems, which are the types of plants that overwintering insects really love to hang out in. Then you can come back later and cut those back when you get to it. It's helpful to use a trimmer that's got a heavy-duty string on it or even a metal blade because obviously some stems are a little bit thicker, so it'll cut through those better. And the other factor is what the weather is like. You've got a pretty broad window when you can do these cutbacks, so you might as well wait for a nice day to be in your garden and not one where there's snow on the ground. So this large planting of Japanese forest grass has only ever been treated this way. It has never been mulched in any other way. It just gets mulched in its own debris. So there's no extra cost to bring in additional mulch. There's no extra time or labor involved in that. I'm doing all of that in one fell swoop. So stuff is gonna fly around with this, so make sure you've got yourself protected.
For one of my favorite gardening tools, I grab my protective eyewear because I like to pressure wash. This is actually an automotive pressure washer, so I can use it on my car, but I take it and I use it on my greenhouse. I clean my pots to get ready for spring, and also blast the patio. I also wash my garden tables with this. This is so easy. All you need is a garden hose, an electrical outlet, or extension cord. It comes with 3 nozzles, a 40-degree spray, a 25-degree spray, and a 15-degree spray. I mostly just use the 40 for cleaning off surfaces and things like that, but when I need to clean off tough stains on my concrete, the 15 is better. And I love good design, even in products, and this has a spot for both of the extra nozzles when you're not using it. So you have one on the wand and 2 attached to the machine. You can have the nozzle straight up and down for a vertical or turn it sideways. So let's get cleaning. There's a few dirt stains right here that we're gonna use this to knock off. One of my pet peeves is washing all of the seed trays to get them all ready. If you've been using them all season, you might have some stains on there. That's where the pressure washer comes in. Good as new. No scrubbing necessary, no soap necessary. Look at that, brand new. And because I'm spraying this over my plants, I'm actually not wasting water. It's going right over my garden and watering my plants. Did you say I got some dirt on my table? 1 second. All right, you ready? You can see it's a little bit dusty. So we're just gonna go in here and give it a wash. Oh yeah, that's just knocking off all the dust. So we're gonna go from the top. It's really just giving it a really nice rinse. This is like opaque and dirty, but that is so much cleaner. Let's blast off some of these spider webs. I'm gonna turn this vertically, go easy, and then turn it really on. Here's a little more right here. Let's give it a... Oh my goodness, so clean. Look at that, brand new. That was the 40. I don't think it's doing much, so let's switch it up to the 15. Let's see how this does. Oh yeah. I love efficiency, so multi-purpose tools are my favorite. In a really short amount of time, you saw me rinse off my greenhouse, get rid of all that algae on my concrete, and clean some pots. And when you're done, you hit that off button and empty out the water. We want to empty out the hose.
I am growing here in Central Florida, an incredibly hot, humid, and impossibly weedy gardening situation. For example, here is my onion row. I just harvested hundreds of gorgeous big fat onion bulbs, and now the weeds have started to take over. And these are some pretty aggressive weeds. I've got things like torpedo grass and blackberry in here. Now I am attempting a low-till to no-till row here, which means I am going to need something sturdy, tough, and time-tested. So I'm going with a good old-fashioned stirrup hoe. I love this hoe for so many different reasons. It's a simple design, but it's incredibly effective, and it's super gentle on my soil structure. I like something that can absolutely get the job done, but it's gentle enough not to destroy my soil's quality. And I'm in Central Florida with light, fluffy, sandy soil, so I don't need a hardcore tiller, but I do need some help ripping these really tough weeds out of my soil, and that is where the stirrup hoe comes in handy. It's called a stirrup hoe because this shape is just like the stirrup in a horseback riding saddle. It's also known as an oscillating hoe or a scuffle hoe. It might be a hoe of many different names, but this is a classic. This is the one that really gets the job done. I've worked with a number of different styles of hoes, and this is my absolute #1 favorite. This is the most important tool in my garden. This particular hoe right here, this is a Husky hoe from Home Depot, and it's got a 54-inch long handle. This is important because I'm not the only one on the farm using this hoe. My husband, who is a lot taller than me, he's also got to use this thing. So the longer handle is going to make sure that anyone on the farm can use the hoe. The blade is extra sharp. All we have to do is run it across just beneath the base of the plant, and you're going to uproot it. It is so important when we are weeding, we are not just chopping the top off of the plant. We are going to just gently pop up under the base of the plant to completely uproot it, and the scuffle hoe is perfect for this job. Another use for this hoe is if you are growing a cover crop, the blade is so sharp, you can actually just come along and sort of chop. It works almost like a scythe. It is just going to chop your plants back. So if you're doing something like a chop and drop, you can just quickly pull the hoe back and you're going to sort of behead the plant. So you can just cut a plant in half, or if you are cultivating, if you are trying to get your weeds out at the root, you're going to come along, shuffle it up right to the base of the plant, a quick pull, you're going to get all the roots up. And this also works on blackberry. The blackberries here are very thorny and I don't want to pull them up by hand, but what I can do is with the scuffle hoe, I get right up at the base of the plant. I just get just beneath the soil line and I give a quick pull. What this does is it pulls it up from the root, and I can grab it because there aren't thorns on the roots. Now I can grab it. I can also go in behind that action and dig out any remaining piece of root to make sure that I don't have the blackberries coming back. Although, you know blackberries, they're coming back anyway. And now let's try it on this torpedo grass. If you live in Florida, you probably know a thing or two about torpedo grass. My husband studied weed science in college. It is one of the most invasive and brutal weeds that we contend with here in Central Florida. But I'm here with my stirrup hoe, getting beneath the soil line, pulling it out from the rhizome as best as I can. When you're pulling up torpedo grass, I want to see you pulling out all that rhizome. Now, torpedo grass is just one of those things we have to live with in Florida, but the more rhizome you pull out, the better you're going to do at keeping it at bay. And this hoe is a row crop farmer's best friend. That's because you can just come through here. You want to schedule doing a little stirrup hoe action about once a week, once every few days at the beginning of the growing season, because you can just come along here and scrape the surface of the soil and grab the weeds as they are just starting to emerge. And if you're able to do that, if you're able to come out to your garden, out to your rows, and scuffle hoe around the edges of your plants consistently for a few weeks as they establish and take over, you are going to significantly increase the productivity of that row, because weed competition is one of the best ways to stunt and steal nutrients from your plants. So keep at it with your stirrup hoe consistently, and your plants are going to take over. They're going to outcompete anything small that might be growing next to them, and you're going to have the most productive row possible. We all know no two gardens are alike. No two gardeners can ever agree on the same way to do something. Let us know in the comment section what tool you can't live without.